Hey queens, happy pride.
Gonna be alright. One more time.
So you can kind of tell, oh, what do you think about my shirt? I'm trying to give trade, wait. Is it giving trade? I'm trying to give like I work at like a Home Depot or like I'm like I run a child summer camp. I don't work there, but I run it, so it's kind of weird. Anyway, so you can tell what this video is based on the title. So I'm incredibly biased going, oh, I moved it, whatever. I'm gonna be incredibly biased going into this. I don't wanna like sugarcoat it. I am going to just kind of ride Mistress Isabelle Brooks' dick. And also, I was on her channel, okay? I was on her channel.
You are not 250 pounds, maybe 350 pounds. But let's be honest.
Gives us a really bad look. To use her own words, she's a big fat ass built bitch. And sorry.
I've never said that.
And what can y'all say about that? What can you say about that? You've never been on Mistress's channel. Actually, are there any like non-famous people that's been on her channel? I guess like when people go on her, like she interviews them around.
He gets drunk and then he wants to hang out with the gays.
Oh, you were f***ing on a boy! On a boy! On a boy!
I think that's really fun. Yeah, I think I'm the first. I think that's kind of cunty. So I'm very biased. So if you don't know who Mistress Isabelle Brooks is, she's one of the greatest drag queens ever.
Don't be fooled. The camera adds 10 pounds. Houston, Texas. That's a big girl! A big girl? Where? It's beautiful and glamorous.
I made a video called Why I Hate Mistress, I don't know, something like that. But I love her drag. I think she's such a phenomenal artist. And she's was on season 15 of RuPaul's Drag Race and caused a huge outroar. People were pissed.
Marsha, being realistic, I don't think you would be behind her because your look is kind of cheap, but I don't think during Snatch Game that you were that funny.
I love her. I love Mistress Isabelle Brooks. I don't care. I don't care who you, I don't care. But now she's on All Stars 10 and oh boy has she done some drama in Conflama.
You know what, bitch? Yeah, I am a motherfucking fake bitch to you, girl. Because, like, what the fuck? You've been nothing but fake this entire fucking competition. And you really fucking tried me. And I know you feel like shit for that, you bitch.
If you don't know what happened, essentially, Mistress Isabelle Brooks, she's on this season, and there's this new, it's like a bracket system, okay? And in the brackets, after 3 episodes, whoever has the most points goes on to the next round. And essentially, Mistress Isabelle Brooks lied, cheated, and steal. That's how she got on to the next round. Also her talent, I'm editing. Also her talent, she should have won. I love Lydia. Here's what should have happened. Episode 1, it should have been Mistress Isabelle Brooks and Tina Burner. Episode 2, it should have been Lydia and Georges. Episode 3, Lydia and Georges. That's what it should have been. So Mistress, she didn't just lie, cheat, and steal. She also, she was talented. Okay. It started off where like the top 2 queens of the week, they get 2 points, and then whoever wins the lip sync gets an extra point. And then the bottom 4, they get to distribute, they get a point each, but they can't keep it. They have to give it to the other queens. And there was a moment where basically Mistress like found a way for her and Georges, this other drag queen, to get 2 points, and then the other 2, Carrie and Nicole, were left with 0 points.
On the same couch.
But that's not, girl. Now
Once
you're
you give it
already
up, that's
starting
it.
that bullshit. Is it giving family ties or is it giving
I just saw you making out with Georges over there, winking at her like you're gonna give her
remember,
to her.
you're gonna do
Here,
it.
Miss Brooks, keep it in the family.
We should go.
No, you give me yours,
Go,
bitch.
Carrie, go.
See?
Georges, I'm gonna go ahead and swap with you, honey.
Thank you,
Season
sis.
14,
Yes,
Texas
and
Girls.
And as Nicole said, we're keeping the Brooks in the family and we're not really related, so here's my point, Georges. I love you, sister. And let me get my bag. Period. And it's given, I'm sorry, I should have been at the top. We should have been at the top, so now we're even.
She was like mean to Tina the entire time. Not like not mean. Tina was also antagonizing Mistress, okay? But Mistress was like fighting back with Tina and would not get up on her. And then also, she dicked over Carrie Colby at the end.
Yeah, I am a motherfucking fake bitch to you, girl.
You probably already knew this, but basically Mistress is causing so much drama and so much conflama. Some people live. Some people are like me. I'm so excited to see this on my television. Some people don't live, especially those in the bracket, especially Carrie Colby. It actually came out that Sasha Colby, Carrie's drag mom, blocked Mistress on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, and that's hilarious. So anyway, that's kind of like that's the basics to get into this video if you didn't already know. And I guess my main argument going into this is that Drag Race is not the same thing as Drag Race All Stars, and the expectations of the queens and of the audience is very different. Reality TV is a game, and the morality of reality TV is really murky. And because of like the non-clearly defined borders, people have wildly different responses to when somebody is crazy, like Mistress. Basically, I'm just gonna defend and argue that Mistress is great. I love Mistress. I think she's doing fantastic. Would I be upset if she were in my bracket? I'm not a drag queen, I don't know. Oh, and also, let's just get this out of the way. People also hate Mistress because she's fat and not white. Now she's much thinner, but like, if she were a different race and a different body type, I think she would have much more defenders in her court. But anyway, that's the whatever.
If you're in the club, if you're in the car, if you're in your bed.
So, like, what is the point of Drag Race? RuPaul's Drag Race is to try and find America's next drag superstar, okay? What is Drag Race All-Stars? All-Stars is trying to put the next queen in the Drag Race Hall of Fame. Okay, let's tease that apart. To find America's next drag superstar, it basically means that the point of the show is to try and stumble across a wildly successful artist, a drag artist, and then when they are put in this environment of Drag Race, they just so happen to rise to the top because they are the best. And then because of that, they kind of are able to like take on RuPaul's torch for the year and like go around the country, go around the world, and represent the show. It's like a celebrity. Whoever wins becomes like the next big celebrity, you know? It's like it's a Cinderella story. It's rags to riches. I go from rags to riches by straight gagging bitches. If I'm on Twitter talking shit, I am tagging bitches. I'm a pro real talk. That's the Bob the Drag Queen thing. I feel like I'm like an evil version of Runner Eye. I'm like if Runner Eye were like more pretentious and also fat. I identify as a bear. But to try and find like place you in the Hall of Fame, that doesn't really mean anything, right? It basically just means you won the show, okay? Finding America's next drag superstar versus being in the Hall of Fame. They sound similar, they're not the same. So I think when you go into watching Drag Race, you want a certain level of like fairness to a degree. At least the audience is the judge, and the judge panel of the audience, they have to believe that whoever won best represents drag in America. Okay, or not necessarily in America, because you had Nymphia win, and she's American, but you know, whatever. But All-Stars is much murkier. To just put in the Hall of Fame, mama, that don't mean nothing. And I think that's, okay, let me go on to my next point. I have points, I wrote them down. I've been a fan of this show for years. I kind of started watching around, I guess I kind of got into it right after season 7, but I guess I really started watching after season 8. It was around like season 7, season 8 is when I got into it. But I started with season 4 because I was obsessed with Willem. So I've been watching this show. I've grown up with this show for years. I love this show. I'm a Drag Race baby. And I've noticed that while yes, like the traditional season is very controversial at points, when it comes to the winner, All-Stars winners are much more controversial, and the season themselves are much more controversial than regular Drag Race. Obviously, you have people who are like upset that Sasha won instead of Shay because they thought Shay did better on the season, but like people generally believe that the person who won the regular seasons, they're like, okay, yeah, they pretty much deserved it. You could have argued other people, but you kind of believe that the main series winners earned it. But when it comes to All-Stars, people are just like not here for it. The first season was kind of a flop. Okay, I love season 1 of All-Stars. That season is insanity. My favorite moment of the entire series ever of Untucked is everybody versus Mimi I'm First. Well, guess what, Mimi? We did. Mimi I'm First was number 3rd in the voting. I could not believe. Don't attack my fans, bitch. From the shit I've seen, I don't have that many. So how did you manage that? It's because they need someone to go home first. Change your costume, change it around. It's amazing. So that season was just kind of controversial, but everyone was like, okay, it doesn't count. But like All-Stars 2, everyone wanted Katya to win, and they thought it was rigged for Alaska. Season 3, they thought Shangela should have won, and people were upset that Trixie won. Season 4, they were so upset there was the double crowning. Season 5, they thought it was rigged for Shea Coulee. Season 6, people thought it was just boring. I don't know. That one, actually, people didn't really hate that one. All-Star 7 doesn't really count. To me, that's not really an All-Star season. It feels different. Season 8, it was rigged for Jumbo. Season 9, they thought it should have been Roxy or Plastique. So, like, people at baseline are just more hot-headed when it comes to Drag Race All-Stars.
Editing again. And people are more upset for All-Stars because people already know the queens. They're already familiar with what they do, and they, like, during a regular season, you don't have anyone to root for at the beginning. But during All-Stars, you have people that you're rooting for because you already know the queens. And because the queens are coming in with their already pre-established fan bases, and the people watching the show are already familiar with Drag Race, it causes more drama and also more conflama. And I think that, like, All-Stars 5 and 6 kind of flopped. 8 and 9 also kind of flopped. Like, people didn't really like it that much, and people were just upset. So I kind of think that going into this season, they really changed up the format with this bracket system. I think this format really brings back just reality TV. I think Drag Race is becoming very careful with who they elect the winner of their main series, because, like, I think they need the winner of the show to be unique, but they also need the winner to be, like, it can't be controversial. Like, they can't stir the pot. They need the winner for that full year after the crowning. They need that winner to, like, hold the scepter, right? And I think Drag Race is very careful with that, but people are always mad at All-Stars. And the format, since its inception, has been just psychological warfare. So they said, just fuck it. Like, think back to even All-Stars 1, you know? The format was really not nice to the queens. But All-Stars 2 and 3, and 4, having to vote people do not understand the psychological warfare of All-Stars 2, okay? Imagine, you're going to Drag Race. These are your friends, right? You are competing against your friends and colleagues. If you eliminate your friend and colleague from the show, you're not only removing them from the competition, but you are hurting them financially. Their career is going to hurt because of it. And your friendship with them may hurt because of it. Like, All-Stars 2 was ruthless. Like, this All-Stars 3 going into they kind of knew, but I think that's why Ben de la Creme left. It's hard. It is hard to eliminate your friends. That's crazy. And I think as time has gone on, people have, like, the queens on the show have become really desensitized to it, and they basically just vote, by and large, whatever they think the fans are going to like. And I think by having the MVQ points on this new season, it's formatted in a way for shade, but not too shady. It's not like you're saying, I think you should go home. That's not what, like, you're not hurting anybody by giving them the point. You're not taking anything from anybody. So because the stakes are much lower in giving the points, I think it's much easier to be shady. I think Mistress really took advantage of that. But I think these are, like, I think you should use the giving the points out however you want. Do whatever you want with that. It's not like a temptation. It's not like the apple in the Garden of Eden. And if you give your point to the wrong person, it really shows your true colors, like what Tina Burner was saying around Lydia.
I'm gonna give my point to Carrie Colby.
Thank you.
What the
And I apologize to anyone who I did not give it to.
This is bull. These girls must be really scared of me. I'm not the only one out of that ceremony who didn't get any points.
Now Tina's hot.
No, I'm not hot.
No, like, that's not it's fine. Give the points to whoever you want. Take the points from whoever you want. And I think everybody, I think you need to ask the question, because people will say what Mistress did was unfair, right? Lying to Carrie, not necessarily lying, but, like, yeah, lying to Nicole Paige Brooks. Essentially, we're gonna trade points, but you gotta give me yours first. You have to give her, you know what I mean? People say that's not fair. It's not fair of her to lie to Nicole and Carrie and basically dick them over so that her and Georges can go through. And people say that's not fair. What she did was mean. That's not fair. That's not good sportsmanship. But I think you need to ask the question, why is evening the playing field fair? Why is everybody having an equal shot fair? I think these are big questions you need to ask. It's fair if you think that morality of All-Stars is that everybody should be on an even playing field. But I don't think that... I don't know. I don't find that to be a solid moral foundation. I don't think you can really lean on that.
I'm back in editing again. I think I want to specify that, like, you can argue with production. You could be like, well, Mistress shouldn't have won this challenge, or this queen should have won this challenge. And you can say that's not fair. And I could agree with you, but also the challenges have never been fair. They always award it really willy-nilly. But when it comes to passing out the points, when it's the queen's responsible, you cannot call that unfair. Because that's what they are supposed to do. Those are the rules of the game. The judges are supposed to be impartial, which they're usually not, but whatever. And then the queens are supposed to pass the points among themselves. That is the part that is, it's fair. It is fair for Mistress to do that. It is fair for her to do whatever she can to get them points, because that's the rules of the game.
I think the most moral thing about All-Stars is that the most moral thing to do is to make entertaining TV without going across any bigotry guidelines. Does that make sense? Basically, don't be racist, don't be homophobic, don't be sexist, don't do those things. And just be entertaining and don't do those. Don't be bigoted, right? But, like, does the social component not count? Like, if Drag Race really thought that what Mistress was doing was wrong, they would have cut. They would have cut production. It's like when Lexi Love and Anya Nerve got into a fight. They cut production. They cut production for 3 hours and they talked about it because they're like, hey, this is not okay. We need to mediate this. If production genuinely thought that what was happening and what was escalating on Drag Race was wrong, morally wrong, and they needed to intervene, they would do that. But it's like, does the social component of the Drag Race game not count? I think people forget that, like, Drag Race is not just a competition in the weekly challenge. It's not just that. You also have to win over the judges with your personality. You also have to, or in the workroom, you have to win over the audience in the confessionals. You have to be entertaining, but you also have to brand yourself, but you also have to showcase something new. Drag Race isn't just whoever does best in the challenges wins the show. No. You have to be the most entertaining, and you have to do whatever you can to bulldoze over your opponents to get to the next round. It's like Monopoly. You don't play Monopoly and assume that, like, you have to be nice to your fellow person and, well, I'm not going to tax you this time because I want the game. No. The point of Monopoly is to be an opportunist. Bulldog your way to the top. I think there's like a Survivor element to Drag Race that really people don't like. People think that on Drag Race and on All-Stars that whoever does the best, whoever has the best art, whoever does the best in the challenges, those are the people who should go on. Which is fair, but also, this isn't a sport. This is not empirical data. It's art. You can't be objective when it comes to art. So just confining who should win and who should advance just based off the challenge, in essence, is inaccurate. It's incomplete. It's naive to think that you can have a full, well-rounded idea of somebody and choose based on objective things like art. Example, some people thought Nicole Paige Brooks should have won episode 2 on All-Stars, but it's not, what she did wasn't good.
It's MPB, FAG, Nicole honey, oh you know me.
I don't want to be like a complete moral relativist in this video. Like, I do believe that there are things that we should be moral about. But also, like, but my argument is, like, is being competitive immoral? Is doing whatever you can in the confines of the Drag Race walls, is that immoral? Is that immoral to do? Because it's not, this isn't real life. Like, example, okay, Ariete, she's come over kind of under a lot of, Ariete is basically very not mentally sound, and I think she has said some horrible things. But on season 17, when she stole Jules's jokes, to me, that's fine.
Oh my god, she stole my jokes. Oh my god, she stole my jokes.
Is that shady? Is that underhanded? 1,000%. Do I identify with my natural born gender? 1,000%. But it's like, who said you can't do that? Who said you can't steal their jokes? You're not, like, destroying their property, and it's not like, and technically, Jules's jokes that she wrote are owned by Drag Race. They're not her jokes. She doesn't have the legal rights to the joke that she said. That's owned by Drag Race. So if anything, Arietti stealing Jules's jokes is stealing the copyright of Drag Race. So I don't think what Arietti did was wrong. Would I want to be friends with Arietti after what she did? Probably not. Or like what it's like what Heidi in Closet said about Candy Muse on Mistress's show. I'm a fan of Mistress. Was she on Mistress's show?
She's a fat, messy, sloppy bitch. Say it to her. She's watching right now. Okay, so you and Candy are good.
Yeah, we're great. The thing is with me, what happened with her was in between 4 pink walls in front of 16 cameras. So it's not real life. How we interact in the real world is what I take more account of. We have really good interactions in the real world. So I have no comments against her. Do I trust her in a competition setting? Hell no. But I do love her.
I think that people need to, yes, take it seriously. Take Drag Race seriously. This is your career, right? I get it. And I understand why the queens on the show would take this very seriously. But we as audience members, I don't know, we need to not overstep our bounds. We don't know these people. I don't know Mistress. I don't know these people. Unless they have done heinous things like Sherry Needles or Sherry Pie, I don't think it's warranted that we spew hate and talk about how much we dislike these people. I don't think that's... I think that's crossing a line. We are not allowed to do that. I don't know. All Stars 9 was a charity season, and people thought it was boring. And All Stars 10 is true reality gutter TV. I love it. And some amazing art showcased on there. And people are still upset, so you're never going to please anybody. I think everybody just has a vague sense of masochism, and everybody just by human nature wants to hurt somebody. And we as queer people, it's hard for us to funnel that anger towards straight people who are genuinely trying to take away our rights. So instead of unionizing against people who are actually horrible and bigoted, we spend our time spreading hate towards people who are just being kind of rude on reality television. And I think those people need to get over themselves. Anyway, let's go to the next part.
You're the only one that I will ever need.
So I want to center back to Mistress to end this video because apparently this video is about Mistress. I don't know. So does Mistress tell offensive jokes? Yes. Yes, she does.
We're not have to be PC. You fat, nasty, obese bitches. Y'all be sitting in bed, ordering DoorDash, and just sitting there getting bigger and bigger. Silky, we're talking to you.
And are we allowed to be offended by those jokes? Yes, you can be offended by her jokes and her actions. You can be upset. Now, should that lead you to start expressing how much you dislike this person online? No. Why would you do that? That's crazy. I understand freedom of speech, but like, you do not know these people. The stakes are very low. And I think you can ask, like, it's kind of like with cancel culture. People would say that Mistress is a horrible person. That's just kind of whenever someone's like trying to be cancel culture means nothing. It just means that a large portion of people online vaguely think you're a bad person. And I think Mistress has been able to take it like a champ. But I don't think we know these people enough to dictate hatred. I think you need to earn hatred and genuine distaste that leads you to spreading that online. To me, this video is spreading love. I love Mistress. That's the love I'm spreading. Hey, love. Everybody say love. Now, I think the real question is that, like, is Mistress an opportunist? And I think the answer is yes, especially on reality television. The thing is, like, Mistress, like, had her alliance with Nicole and had her alliance with Carrie and then was making fun of Tina, but really had an alliance with Georges and Lydia.
I feel like people always gag because I'm like, oh no, I do drama. Do you believe that competing is also a mind game? Or is that just...
You are demonic.
I'm angelic. I would actually be in a secret alliance with every girl. And I'll be playing everyone at the same time. And then it will blow up in my face and I'll be like, y'all, it's for charity. Let's just start over. It's a new day.
And that is an opportunist. That is taking advantage of what is given to you. And is there something wrong with that? Well, in a game circumstance, no. I don't think so. To shame somebody and view somebody as a horrible person because of being an opportunist on reality television. So to me, I strike it from the book. Same thing with Arietti, right? What Arietti said to Anya Nerve, was it mean? Yes, it was very mean. And that I think I have more of an issue with than her stealing Jules's jokes. So like, is her stealing Jules's jokes being an opportunist? Yes. But also, this is a reality TV. I think you have to be loose because reality TV is it's undefined. I talked about this in one of my past videos, but essentially like reality TV exists in this liminal zone where it's not really real, but it's not really fake. And some people think it's completely real, and some people think it's completely fake, and some people exist in. So like the way in which people approach reality TV is very different. And I think people, when they see Mistress being an opportunist and they have a vile response, they hate what she's doing, it's because they view reality TV as more close to real life, and they view being an opportunist in real life as bad. But also, in me, I'm somebody who's obviously defending Mistress and make a whole fucking video about her. I view it as a game, and this is reality TV, and do whatever you want, queen, as long as you accept the ramifications of your actions and own up to what you did, which Mistress is doing. But I also think that offline, Mistress also is, I think, an opportunist, or a social climber. That's the polite way to say it. Plain Jane it was her season was airing, she does a video with Plain Jane. Dawn was talking stuff about her online, she has Dawn on the channel. It's like, she's an opportunist in that way, but it's also not like she's not harming the other person. The other person is also getting good publicity. Like example, she had Eureka O'Hara on there, or I think she just goes by Eureka now. And a lot of people did not like Eureka. And okay, Mistress's video was Shady Boots. It was basically having Eureka on there, and they recapped all of Eureka's like scandals and stuff, and you really saw Eureka as being kind of like a going through a lot of mental struggles. But there were comments of people going like, wow, I really disliked Eureka before this, and then I saw this video and it put a lot of things into perspective. And so like, you can call this video Mistress is taking advantage of Eureka in a poor mental state, or you can say that like, Mistress wanted to make a fun video. She wanted to be shady, and she had Eureka on there and did a shady thing. But through doing that, it allowed the audience to loosen up their death grip they had on Eureka's neck. So I think that Mistress is able to like make something that's mutually beneficial. She's a business person, and like even like her whole like her being Sugar and Spice's parent, I think that was kind of just a publicity stunt. And as time has gone on, I don't think Sugar and Spice really fuck with Mistress the same way they did in the past, but I don't know that, so I'm not going to speculate on that. But I know she loves Lydia. Her and Lydia are still close, and like you can say like, oh well, her thing with Lydia was just like a publicity stunt. Probably, but Lydia initiated it. So Lydia was also being a little bit of an opportunist. And then Mistress ended up giving Lydia the point at the end. Instead of giving the point to Nicole, but I guess giving the point to Lydia would curry favor with her going on into the next round, whatever. So like, is she a social climber? Yeah, but I don't think she does it to the detriment of others, except I guess on TV. She wants to entertain at the end of it. Like this, she's an entertainer. And on television, if you let her get away with it, she will poke your buttons. Example, Lucy LaDuca and Tina Burner. They both were taking it very, very, very seriously. And Mistress was like, well, I need to make TV. The reason I'm here is to entertain. The reason we're making a reality TV show is to entertain. If this show isn't entertaining, it's not going to do well, and then the show's going to fail. So she would pick on Lucy, and she would pick on Tina. But these are not these are grown-ass men. These are people older than Mistress. And I think that these people could fight. It's not like she's picking on a child or somebody who doesn't know what's going on. She was picking on them for entertainment, and they allowed it. I know, like, but also, like, she makes fun of Silky all the time, but Silky loves her. She loves Silky. She's like a ride or die for Silky.
One of genuinely the sweetest people I've ever met. But I also want this to be an example for everyone. When your sisters have to compliment how sweet you are when talking about looks, that should just tell you everything you need to know.
Oh. Damn.
Big fan of Silky Nutmeg Ganache, one of my favorite drag queens. So like, yeah, her jokes are crazy and they could be distasteful for you, and that's fine. But to me, the line is bigotry. If you are bigoted, truly bigoted, and you are spreading that sort of minority-based hate, I guess, that's when it becomes a problem for me. And I've seen a lot of Mistress content, and I haven't seen her be bigoted, except for two examples. One is she uses the term fishy, which that is, I don't know. That's when it's a big hot button issue. There's a lot of women who think it's fine. There's a lot of women who think it's not fine. There's a lot, I don't know. Some people think it's bad. Some people think it's fine. I think that's a gray area. So I think you can maybe ding her for that, but that's really murky. And the other one is against non-binary people.
It's giving he, she, we, they, them, non-binary, vegan, vegetarian. I'm scared. I'm gonna give it 2 stars.
she's kind of really built a brand off of being is non-binary T valid. And you could kind of find that offensive, but I don't know. She's friends with people who identify as non-binary. She has thought about identifying as non-binary herself.
You know what? With that being said, I love you so much.
I love you too, baby.
And this is the perfect end to the interview. I don't think it gets any better than this. Bosco.
Yes, go.
I think you're making me want to accept that I might be non-binary.
I'm so proud of you. You're so
Non-binary
brave.
T is valid.
I don't think she's bigoted. I guess my next point is that Mistress didn't come out of nowhere. She didn't sneak up on you, right? You knew who she was. When she pulled this shit on Carrie, when she pulled this shit on Nicole, why were they surprised? Why were they surprised? That doesn't make any sense. You know who Mistress is. It's not like she was like fucking that one bitch from Frozen who tried to kill Anna at the end. You know? Hans? Was his name Hans? I think his name was Hans. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like she was like a sneaky snake who just like lashed out. No! She was up front, which causes me to respect it much more. It's not like she was like putting on a front of like, oh, I'm so perfect and so this, but I'm actually a cunt. No, she was to your face the entire time. So that's why like I don't get why people are mad that Carrie and Nicole were duped by Mistress on a game show. Bitch, it's Mistress Isabelle Brooks. What did you expect? That's your fault. That is your fault for getting duped. And then Carrie went on to be mad at Mistress, but also like get buddy-buddy with Georges. When like Georges also did it, to me, Georges was more underhanded than Mistress, because at least Mistress was to your face. I don't know. The queens trusted her when they should not have, and Tina Burner took her very seriously. When like, Mama, you don't need to do that. You don't need to take her seriously. Also, you see what Tina Burner wore that first episode was she made? I want to wear that outfit. I think the outfit was like, it wasn't like an impressive like drag out, like design wise, it was just kind of like, well, it was pants and a jacket and a shirt. You know, that it was like, it was cool, it was whatever. But the actual construction, I thought it was, I want those pieces. Anyway, so Mistress has been bold and unprecedented, and that's been very divisive. But since the creation of All Stars as a format, it has been trying to change. It has been trying to create a new moral system for Drag Race. I remember RuPaul, when All Stars 2 came out and they started doing like the lipstick to vote to go home, RuPaul thought they would just send their biggest competition home. So they went into it trying to make a season that would create drama. Or Naomi sending Manila home, you could say that's like in the same caliber. But Mistress was literally like lying to these people and like bulldogging her way to the top, which is really funny. And I think when people see like when people see her do that, they go, we need to prop up our fellow queers. We need to like lift each other up and don't be a bad person. It's like, to me, that is weak and pathetic and patronizing. That's weakness. That is, I think the other queens on the show, if they were able to put up with the audience ramification of making big, bold actions like Mistress, they would do it too.
Do I regret what I did?
No, I don't think so.
Would you have done the same? Yes. You would have. If you were in,
Probably not. I mean, I gave y'all the point. I could have switched with Nicole. If I would have known that's what we were doing, I would have just had us both do it.
Ooh.
If I would have known.
Okay, be honest.
If I would have known, I would like, okay, me and Nicole, we switch. You two, you switch. So then we just kind of
I told y'all that day. I was like, if you would have been near me, I would have. If you were next to me instead of where Georges was, I would have did it with you.
So it was a seat thing.
Yes, but here's the thing. Would you have done it? If
I would have been in on it. I would have been in on it.
I find it patronizing to be like, well, we as queer people need to be... No, it's like infantilizing to it. I don't like it. Queer joy can't exist, and queer power can't exist without trying to be like attached to a sob story or like propping each other up. To say that Mistress is like playing dirty is trying to make a moral high ground. And the moral high ground is usually the ground taken by people who can't take any other ground. You see all these people in the comments coming for Mistress, trying to take a moral high ground because they're so much better. It's because they want power. So what they do is they tear down people who take power, because that's how power is given. It's not given, it's taken. But also it's a game. Like, if Mistress was consistently like, if she cheated IRL and was like rude to all these people and not like, she wouldn't have a career. People wouldn't work with her, and I wouldn't support her, because that's like that's when it becomes too narcissistic. The thing is, it's a game. This is a game. She's playing a game. Mistress is a self-made person, a fantastic artist who has paved a path for herself. She came from nothing. I know, like, she never met her dad, and then one time her brother, like, tricked her into going to her dad's house, and then when she saw her dad and realized it was him, she, like, spit in his face. But it's like, I don't know, Mistress has overcome a lot, and I really admire and respect and am entertained by her foolishness. I don't know, I think it's wonderful. Anyway, I don't know, I guess that's my video. I don't really have, like, I guess that's my conclusion. I'm a stan. Please send money to my Venmo. It's getting really tough in LA. I need to move somewhere much cheaper. It's a whole thing. But that's my video. Thank you so much for watching. Listen to my mixtape Cisgender Jesus if you want. If you don't want to, that's also fine.